Hello, my name is Brenna McEntire, and I am a senior at Montreat College in the mountains of North Carolina. I have loved observing wildlife since I was a small child, so receiving a Ledford grant to study American alligators was a huge deal. I love reptiles of all kinds. I have a pet king snake named Bumble at home, and my reptile of study is enormous, the incredible American alligator. My research proposal involved looking at the health of American alligators between the sexes and within a unique ecosystem. The ecosystem I was looking at, or studying in, was along the coast of South Carolina, and it was filled with freshwater wetlands along a barrier island, which is a really cool place to study. I desired to know whether American alligators along the coast of South Carolina are in good health or not, and I wanted to compare the health between the sexes. I wondered if male alligators had more injuries, for example, compared to females if they were fighting over territory. I gathered a couple of data points and parameters to find conclusions in this study. Firstly, I wanted to check the gator's overall body condition. So was it thin or did it have a healthy size? I checked if it was active or alert. And I also weighed the alligator. And lastly, I checked the alligator for any visible injuries or obvious illnesses. So as far as findings go, I discovered that American alligators in this little spot in South Carolina, my study site, were very healthy, which is a really good sign. American alligators are keystone species and are critically important to the survival of many wetland ecosystems. For example, American alligators dig alligator holes, which are havens for many water bird species, including many endangered species. The greatest sign of a healthy alligator is the circumference of their tail. The greater the girth of the tail, the healthier the alligator, as that is where they store their fat content. So all three alligators that we managed to catch during my study had very fat tails, which is a great sign, which means they're eating well. In previous alligator surveys performed at this study site by Montreat College, alligators were not so healthy that were caught. Here is a picture of one of the alligators caught in 2019. It was extremely emaciated, lethargic, and its tail was very thin, as you can see, very little fat content in it. So it seems that alligators today are doing much better in our study site. The most interesting finding that I found during my research was one alligator with a missing eye. Alligators often fight over territory and end up with missing limbs or eyes quite frequently. This could be how this alligator ended up like this. However, she was doing quite well for being partially blind. She was quite snappy and difficult to hold on to when we were trying to weigh her and get our data points from her. So here is a video showing how we capture alligators and the crazy process that is.
Alligator mississippiensis.
Me and my colleague Whitney worked alongside each other during our research for the Ledford Scholarship, and we performed different research. However, our research overlaps in certain areas. She studied the food sources which alligators are eating, and I studied the overall health of alligators. And I think it can be concluded that the alligators which we caught and looked at we're getting enough food for sure. And the food that Whitney observed, we can study what they eat, and I think that's really cool.